Hello, everybody, and welcome to my 6th Top 10 list. In celebration of hitting 10,000 subscribers, I asked my viewers to come up with 10 top 10 lists of any topic that they thought would be interesting or entertaining for me to compose. Today, I wanted to change things up a bit and go with the list that had nothing to do with video games or tabletop games or anything that I typically make videos about on my channel. I wanted to touch on a completely different topic, but one that I'm still very passionate about. I'm talking about my top 10 favorite foods. Special thanks to XEI for requesting this list. In addition to gaming, food is probably my second biggest hobby. I'm an extremely adventurous foodie. Every time I look at a menu at a restaurant, I immediately scan it for something totally new, unique, and, well, different. Now don't get me wrong, I totally understand the whole thing about, you go to this restaurant and you find the one thing that you absolutely love and you just, keep ordering that one thing because you know you love it. And I get it. But for me personally, that's never been my style. I very rarely will go into the same restaurant and order the exact same thing twice, no matter how much I absolutely love the other dish. Because I am constantly out to discover completely new dishes and flavors. And that's just how I roll. Just a suggestion though, you may not want to watch this video on an empty stomach. Just saying. So, consider yourself warned. Without further ado, here are my top 10 favorite foods. Number 10. Risotto. Risotto is a northern Italian rice dish cooked in a broth to a creamy consistency. An amazing comfort food. It can be meat or vegetarian, doesn't matter. It's immaculate either way. It takes a long time to make risotto because you basically start with a special glutinous rice and pour in some broth, cooking and stirring it until it absorbs it all. Then you pour even more broth and continue cooking and stirring until it absorbs all of that, and so on and so forth. It's amazing how much this rice can suck into itself. The result are these soft grains packed with intense flavor. Top it all off with Parmesan cheese and get ready to consume a savory ambrosia of the heavens. Buon appetito! Number 9. Crepes. Crepes, or crepes, look like super thin pancakes, which is why I prefer them over pancakes due to their light and airy texture. They typically are associated with France, but they are consumed traditionally in Belgium, Canada, many parts of Europe, North Africa, and the southern cone of South America. They are so versatile because they can be sweet or savory. The latter, also known as galettes. Crepes can be served with a variety of fillings, from the simplest with only sugar to flambéed crêpe Suzette or elaborate savory galettes. One of my favorite simpler crepe fillings is a Nutella, bananas, and strawberries. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, I can find a crepe for any occasion. Number 8. Shrimp and grits. I am a huge fan of Southern American cooking, and one of my favorite places to visit is none other than New Orleans. where they do shrimp and grits right. This is another elevated comfort food that's garlicky, creamy, and oh so savory. Like crepes, I love it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Add a bit of Cajun spice or hot sauce in there, and this dish is to die for. Ugh, I really could use some of that right now, let me tell you. Number 7, tocino. If you've never heard of this dish, it's because tocino is a Filipino breakfast dish. It is our way better version of bacon. Now, I can hear a lot of you saying, hold on a second there, Hark. How in the world can you make a better version of bacon? Well, tocino are thicker slices of pork belly, which is where bacon comes from, that has been cured with anise wine, salt, and sugar. It's a meatier and sweeter candied version of bacon, far superior to American or Canadian bacon as far as I'm concerned. Yes, oh yes, I said it. Though I will admit that texturally, it's not crunchy like bacon, but at least for me, I don't miss it when I'm eating tocino. I first introduced tocino to one of my roommates, and she especially loved it. And I remember coming back with a large container of it and storing it in the fridge, only to look for it the next day and finding it almost all of it completely devoured by my roommate. Can't say I can blame her though, to be honest. If you love bacon, like most meat-eating people do, heck, even if you don't like bacon, but you eat meat, trust me, you gotta try this. Number 6, duck fat poutine. Poutine is a dish originating from the Canadian province of Quebec, consisting of French fries and cheese curds topped with a brown gravy. Yet another elevated comfort food. As a foodie, food doesn't just have to taste good, it has to feel texturally good as well. The more diverse array of textures, the better. And poutine has that complex texture profile, from the softness and crispiness of the fries, to the squeakiness of the cheese curds, to the smooth, thick, warm gravy. Duck fat is one of the most delicious type of animal fat you can cook with. And as great as poutine is with any other oil, duck fat just brings it to a whole new level. Number 5, seafood etouffee. This is another Cajun dish that I go gaga over. It's a rice dish traditionally cooked with seafood and a thick brown sauce. It's similar to Creole, which is another Louisiana dish that I love. But the sauce in Creole is more tomato-based and thinner. Etouffee's thicker sauce, on the other hand, is based on a roux, which is butter and flour cooked together. And I love it spicy, very spicy. And it's gotta be packed with a large assortment of seafood in it, from shrimps, to scallops, to crab, to crawfish. I always say that I can survive giving up meat for the rest of my life, except for seafood. I can become a pescatarian, but I don't think I can go any further than that. And etouffee is one of the best ways for me to enjoy my seafood. Number 4, Sizzling CeCe. Again, this is probably another dish you've never heard of before because, again, this is a traditional Filipino dish. Yes, there are quite a few Filipino dishes on this list. Sisig is made with parts of pig head and liver. Now, that may not sound particularly appetizing to some of you, but trust me, don't knock it till you try it. In fine Filipino restaurants, it typically comes to your table sizzling with an irresistible aroma of immense flavors. It is usually accompanied with an incredible sauce made of garlic, chili peppers, vinegar, soy sauce, and calamansi juice. Calamansi is a Filipino lemon which is much smaller, rounder, and sweeter than the lemons you're probably used to. The acidity of this sauce helps to perfectly cut through the richness of this admittedly fatty dish. But hey, us Filipinos don't cook these meals because they're healthy. We cook these meals because they're so orgasmically delicious. And if that's wrong, I really, really don't want to be right. Number 3. Okonomiyaki. This is a traditional Japanese dish. As you can see, my taste in food traverses all over the globe. An international palate is key in being able to experience your foodie life to the fullest. Okonomiyaki is a savory pancake that is typically eaten for lunch or dinner. Some people consider it to be omelet-like too, but I think it's still more pancake than an omelet. Grated nagaimo, a type of yam, water or dashi, eggs, and shredded cabbage. It usually contains other ingredients such as green onion, meat, seafood, vegetables, konjac, which is an Asian plant, mochi, or cheese. It's drizzled with a sauce and topped with dried fish flakes that actually wiggles around on your plate due to its rehydration from the steam. This is a Japanese masterpiece. And as you will see in my next dish, it isn't the only one. Number 2. Ramen. I love soups and stews of all types. There's just something comforting and satisfying about a warm and rich, flavorful broth, those delicious, tender noodles, and all the other meats and vegetables intermingling between them. While I do enjoy other Asian soups, like pho, not pho everyone, pho, and udon noodles, ramen has a very special place in my heart. And I'm not talking about that instant stuff that you survived in college with at 10 cents per package. Sorry folks, that's not real ramen. A decent ramen always starts with the broth. Traditional types of broth include a soy sauce-based broth, or shoyu, a miso-based broth, and my personal favorite, pork-based broth, or tonkatsu. A good tonkatsu broth takes hours to cook, 10 to 12 hours at least, to fully infuse the water with all those rich flavors from the bones and vegetables. The noodles are definitely the second most important component. And if you can get freshly made noodles in your ramen, that is key. Then finally comes all the other ingredients: pork belly, bamboo shoots, ginger, green onions, seaweed, and my personal favorite, the nitamago, or lava egg. Lava eggs are marinated, soft-boiled eggs. Again, these babies are packed with flavor. The yolk is neither runny nor fully cooked solid. The perfect lava egg yolk is custardy in texture. It's so hard to get right, but when you do, it's out of this world. All of these components come together into an edible symphony of gastric proportions. And my number one favorite food is Kare-Kare. It shouldn't be a surprise that my top favorite food is a Filipino dish. While it's not as complex or involved as some of the other dishes on my list, this dish holds a very special place in my heart. From my earliest memories as a little kid, Kare-Kare was and still is, my favorite food. And my mom, hands down, makes the best Kare-Kare in the world. I've tasted dozens of Kare-Kare, from home cooks to the fanciest schmanciest of Filipino restaurants. None of them beats my mom's. So let's get that straight right away. Kare-Kare is actually oxtail in a peanut sauce. And the peanut sauce is very different from what you may be familiar with in Thai cooking. It's not spicy and it tastes a lot more natural, I guess. The oxtail is a fairly bony part of the animal, but it has been cooked till tender, falling right off the bone. It is also traditionally served with bagoong, salted shrimp fry paste. We basically use bagoong to season the kare-kare instead of salt. That combination of the meat, the peanut sauce, the shrimp paste, and the rice that you naturally eat with every bite is magical. That is a flavor profile that I never get tired of. Ever. You know how you sometimes are asked those get to know you icebreaker questions as like a team building exercise? Well, I was once asked what would be my final meal if I hypothetically ever found myself on death row. My final meal request would be to have my mom come in and cook for me her kare-kare. How poetic would it be for my final meal before I leave this world to be created by the woman who brought me into this world? A dish that instantly transports me all the way back to my childhood. Have any of you seen the movie Ratatouille? Well, if you have, there's a scene in there I know you all know what I'm talking about. If I had a choice for my final food experience while I was alive on this earth, it would hands down be that. Well, there you have it. I think at this point, you probably should do yourselves a favor and grab a bite to eat. But when you're done, let me know down in the comments what your favorite foods are. Do you and I share any common dishes in our top 10 lists? I would love to hear from you. Tune in next time for even more top 10 lists. But until then, love yourselves, love each other, and bon appetit.